Okay, so this is cooked and it's been, I'm estimating 20 or 25 minutes. And I do, towards the end, keep stirring pretty frequently. As you will see, this kind of looks like scrambled eggs. And the way you can tell if it's done, once it gets to this point, the liquid around it will start to look just slightly yellow, a little more clear. But if you just take your spoon and take a bit and kind of push it to the side, if you see it's starting to hold in a ball, then you pretty much know it's done. So I'm not going to let this go too long because I don't want to overcook it. So I'm going to turn this off and get ready to put it in the cheesecloth. So we're going to turn around, and I cut a piece of cheesecloth. I'm going to try to do this. It's probably maybe about a foot long, and I'm going to lay it in the colander, which I'm going to do so you can see. Sorry about that vertigo. I'm trying to set this up so you can see it. And it's very difficult because, as I said, I'm not the best camera person. Maybe I should try it over on this side. Let me try the other colander. I have two colanders out here because, as I said before, I'm making two 1 dozen. I'm making two 1 dozen packages. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to lay my cheesecloth in the colander. This is the way it comes out as single. I'm going to open this up. And just lay it in the colander. Of course, if you're going to make a 2 dozen, you should use a bigger piece of cheesecloth. One of the other things I wanted to mention is, as that was cooking, as the water got hotter, it will start to boil over, so sometimes you have to take the ingredient pot out of the double boiler and scoop some more of that boiling water out. Otherwise it just boils over on to the stove. Okay, I'm getting my cooked cheese mixture, and we're going to get it rolled in a ball. And the way I do this is, oops, cheesecloth has fallen in, which is not good. And I get this cheesecloth in the grocery store. They have it in, like in some of the places where they have the cooking accessories. Sometimes, oops, sorry, I'm steaming up the pot. Sometimes it's hard to get it out, so sometimes I'll just scoop. And I'm also at the same time trying to divide this. I've never had this problem before with cheesecloth. Maybe I cut it too small. And I'll show you my trick for getting this molded and done a little sooner. Okay, now, this is the part that is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to tell you how I make it less tricky, because this is very hot, but you've got to form it. So what I do is I pull up all the 4 corners, or 4 ends. I give it a couple twists. You can do this yet while it's still pretty hot. And then this is cold water. I run it under cold water so I can work with it. And it does not take away from the flavor because it's already cooked. But you can see it's forming that ball. And then I run it under cold water and wring it real tight. But that gives me the ability to wring it. When I was growing up, they would literally put it in the cheesecloth, and I don't know how they managed, with as hot as it is, to get it wound up. And they would literally hang it so that the other juice would drain out of it that would form the ball. Now, what I do is, after that's done, I just, and you could almost see how it's already formed the ball. I will just take opposite ends and, knot them real tight. And actually, I kind of tie it here for a little bit and let it continue to drain for a while. And just hang it from my spigot while it's draining a little bit. After it drains for a little bit, maybe a half an hour or so, I just put the whole thing on a plate in the refrigerator. And that's pretty much it. And I apologize, my dog has barked through this whole session. But my neighbor had workmen at her house. And he's very protective and does not like strangers around. So I hope you have good luck with your Sadok, Rutka, Easter cheese, and putting it in your basket to be blessed. Christos voskres.